For WKNO News in Memphis, I'm Christopher Blank. Tennessee lawmakers are debating legislation that could further criminalize activity around reproductive health care. At the same time, the federal government is working to strengthen medical privacy protections. WPLN's Catherine Sweeney reports on how the two issues are connected.
The bills crack down on adults who help minors who are not their own children get abortions or gender-affirming care. That means if a woman takes her niece to New York to get an abortion and she didn't tell the parents, that would be a crime under the new law. She could say they only went to see a musical on Broadway, but the niece's medical records would prove she got the procedure. And there's a low barrier to law enforcement obtaining those records. They don't need a warrant. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is working to expand HIPAA privacy laws to make it harder for law enforcement to access those records. Melanie Fontes-Rayner is the director of that agency's Office for Civil Rights. She says a new draft will come out soon, but she noted HIPAA doesn't cover cell phone companies.
It's really important to make sure you're turning off your geographic location tracking services, making sure you're not saving or storing protected health information on your devices.
The crackdown bills have passed the Senate and are still under debate in the House. Catherine Sweeney, WPLN News.
And a bill sponsored by Senator Brent Taylor that would pave the way to complete public financing for the more than $550 million FedEx Forum renovations has been delayed in the Senate. Its House counterpart passed Tuesday evening. The Senate version is likely to be heard again next week. The legislation is the product of weeks of negotiations among Memphis and Shelby County governments, Memphis Tourism, and the legislators on how future hotel-motel tax revenue will be divided. It would not have passed had the parties not agreed on a deal. New DNA testing could be ordered in the 1993 murders of 3 Arkansas boys that could exonerate the 3 men jailed for the crime. The West Memphis 3 case got national attention, and the 3 defendants, all teenagers at the time, were eventually released from prison. It did not come with exoneration, however, and the Arkansas Supreme Court has ruled in favor of a request by Damian Eccles to use modern DNA testing to fully exonerate the trio. The case was reopened in 2011. This is 91.1. More news at WKNOFM.org or on the WKNO app.